Hey yo, we're back. It's me. It's that MA double T. Starting this Friday off, this Masters weekend edition of the Huge Pop Sports Podcast. Again, Friday with me as always is my bro
What's up, Matt?
Scott.
What's up, man?
Um, so before we dive into the Masters golf tournament, um, we're going to talk a little bit about what happened Saturday or Sunday. Yeah, Sunday and Monday. College hoops. We'll start with that. We're going to talk about the MLB. What happened? What's the early feel of the MLB? What's going on? We'll talk about the NBA playoff picture very briefly because I find that to be absolutely confusing and boring. The NHL playoffs is also in full swing too. We'll give that a preview and then finish the show off with the Masters Golf Tournament that is currently live on ESPN and the Masters app. So if you have any of those, check it out. If you like golf, if not, I get it. Um, so start off with the women's national championship game.
Mm, yeah.
Caitlin Clark did everything she could, but her team just fell apart. I mean, it's a single player versus the teams in South Carolina, right? So, I mean,
Yeah, I noticed that throughout the whole tournament. It was when Caitlin Clark scores half or more of your points. You're gonna come across the big dogs, and I think that's what happened on whatever day that was when she came across the team that got South Carolina that rolled them. I mean,
yeah,
you can only do so much.
and and I think rates really to me, it's a I don't want to say it. It was Caitlin Clark versus the world
Mm-hmm.
for most of the for pretty much the whole tournament because she got so much hate, and I don't think it was deserved at all. Um, it's it's just a shame that people have to say some of the stuff that they do. That there's some people like Stu Bird, I believe, came out and said that it was either Stu Bird or Diana Taurasi said that she's not even the fifth best player in the country. I wouldn't pick her to start off. And I'm thinking, really? She shattered scoring records. She's not, and the thing is, she's not just a scorer, and she led her team in assists too. So
So, Matt, here's a serious question I have in regards to Clark and Iowa. Matt and I are from Michigan, and we're Big Ten fans. There's always that discussion: is the Big Ten women's basketball that much weaker than, say, the South Carolina or Tennessee's or the SECs or ACC? Is that why she looked so good throughout her career because she was in the Big Ten, and she finally faced an SEC team? I don't know. I'm just asking the question.
no, I here's the thing. So I wrote these stats down, which because I was having a conversation with somebody else, and I wanted to really look at it. Um, I put Angel Reese from LSU and Caitlin Clark next to each other.
Okay,
Okay, they both are 4-year players at major universities.
correct.
Caitlin Clark's a two-time AP Player of the Year. Okay,
Okay, solid.
Reese 0. She's never won that award.
Okay.
Caitlin Clark is a three-time NCAA All-Region Team selection. Angel Reese 2. Caitlin Clark is a two-time NCAA All-Tourney Team selection. Angel Reese 0. Caitlin Clark was the Wooden Award winner. Angel Reese was not. And Caitlin Clark was the Naismith Player of the Year twice, and Angel Reese has 0. The only thing that Angel has that Caitlin does not is a national championship. Points per game, Caitlin Clark, 28.4. Angel Reese, 18.6. Total rebounds per game, Caitlin Clark, 7.1. Angel Reese, 12.3. Now, the reason for the big difference there is because of the difference of positions that they play.
Right. Absolutely.
I mean, Caitlin is a point guard. Angel Reese is a small forward.
Right.
She's gonna get more rebounds.
Right. Absolutely.
And the assists per game throughout their 4-year career, Caitlin Clark, while she averaged 28.4 a game, she averaged 9.5 assists per game. Angel Reese, 1.5. To me, I'm picking Caitlin Clark over Angel Reese.
Now, she's not very big. I can say that.
Let's see. Caitlin Clark is 6 foot.
I mean, she's not bad for a guard in women's basketball. So, do you see her going top 5?
Okay, I'll make a bold statement, and I guess it won't be that bold, but to me, she is a female Steph Curry.
Yes, absolutely.
She doesn't miss.
No, she doesn't.
She creates her own shot. I think to me, if I'm in need of a point guard, I'm taking Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, true.
If I need a point guard, because she moves very well without the ball. She doesn't need to have the ball all the time. To me, she's a total package. I would take her again. But if I need if I need a person to rebound, yeah, I'm taking Angel Reese. If I already have an established point guard, I'm not taking another one. That's just stupid.
Right. But I think the thing you said about in that game, I think you've seen Caitlin Clark. And Caitlin Clark in Iowa. Iowa has a good team, but they don't have stars like South Carolina had. That team was loaded. You know.
Okay. Here's another stat for you. This is one that really got me thinking. Let's see here. I'm gonna go and find it. It's the box score. Okay, I went back and look at the box score. South Carolina won 87-75, so they won by 12. Out of the 75 points that Iowa scored, 30 of them came from Caitlin. And the other portion of that 75 were from the starting 5. No one from the bench scored. South Carolina, they had 1, 2, 3. They had 4 girls in double digits. And one of them came off the bench with 20.
So you're deep. They're much deeper.
They're deep, yeah.
Yeah, much deeper than Iowa. And we talk about sports, high school sports, any college sports, even professional basketball, I guess. But we talk that the deeper your bench is, Matt and I played high school sports, and you knew that there was a good team when the kids could come off the bench and still be good. And unfortunately, that didn't happen for Iowa because nobody scored off the bench, and that's where you get beat. It's not that it's just how deep you are, and that makes sense.
And talk about deep benches. That held true for that men's championship game as well.
100%.
UConn just looked like a team from a different planet.
Yeah.
That team from Purdue, hell of a great run this year. My hat goes off to that team. That's a hell of a great group of kids.
Yeah.
They knocked off my boys from NC State, though. I was kind of hoping NC State would beat them, but so this is the first team since 2006, 2007 Florida Gators to win back-to-back.
Really? Okay.
They are the 7th team all time since 1945 to win back-to-back championships. So it's only UConn and 6 other teams including a Duke Blue Devil team when they beat Michigan,
Yep.
and the UNLV Michigan, and then of course all those teams from UCLA that won back to back.
Right.
And then Kansas, I think way back in the day, won a couple back to back. But yeah, it's a very good UConn team.
Absolutely.
Very good UConn team.
You know, same thing. I'm looking at the stats right now. Same thing. You know, Purdue, 4 of the 5 team members in the starting lineup scored, and only one, and mind you, 2 of them in the starting 5 scored double digits. One being Eddie, or whatever, how you spell his name, say his name. But the difference again comes back to their bench. Purdue had one guy score 2, and
I guess they had one guy score, or 2 guys score 4 and 9, but
yeah, but still, everybody in that starting 5 scored something. And 4 of those guys scored in double digits. So again, it comes down to how deep you are and how active you are, and how, when your guys are taking a break, they need help, and it just, yeah.
They might not score points off the bench. It's more of a, like, can they play defense?
Right.
Because they need to get stops, and clearly they did. They need to, so
100%.
And they didn't get, and the fouls are pretty even, 18 and 15.
Yeah.
What I think is pretty interesting is that as a team, Purdue had 8 assists. 8. UConn had 18.
Jesus Christ.
That's ball. That's ball movement.
Ball movement. Yeah, absolutely.
It's team basketball, and I will say this: a team will beat an individual every time, every day of the week.
Yeah, true.
I mean, Michael Jordan lived that early on in his career.
Sure. Before
Scottie Pippen became who he is, they had a lot of growing pains, and I'm not by any means saying that the teams that only had one player throughout the tournament, I'm not comparing them to Michael Jordan at all. I'm just saying, it's the similarities. Jordan doesn't win without his teammates.
Yeah, you're 100% right. And that's what pissed me off about people that talk about Michael Jordan, the Chicago Bulls, Detroit Pistons, and Isaiah Thomas. You look at those teams, it's a great example because they were surrounded by talent. I mean, that Chicago Bulls team, man, it was surrounded by Pippen, Horace Grant, let me see, Rodman.
Rodman was in the second group.
Yeah, but still, valuable that he was. All those guys, John
Paxson?
John Paxson, he's there. Craig Hodges, right?
Oh, I loved Craig Hodges.
I mean, I hated him because guess what? He would stand up by that 3-point line and he would score. But it was, and I could Steve Kerr. That pissed me off. I mean, that's the one thing that pissed me off. I'm not a Jordan hater, but people got to understand that it was, yes, he was phenomenal. I'm not gonna say he's not. He's probably one of the best in the league ever that will ever be. But he had a team that was full of talent.
I get in these debates with the LeBron lovers, the people who just love LeBron and think he's just the greatest thing since sliced bread. And they're like, well, Jordan had all the help. I'm like, well, the difference is he didn't go and recruit help.
Correct.
They drafted that help.
Absolutely.
They drafted Horace Grant. They drafted Scottie Pippen. The only guy that they really traded for was Bill Cartwright. And really, was Bill Cartwright that big of a difference? I don't think
he was good. He was good, but they traded for him and they drafted for everybody else. That's the problem that I have with basketball today. It's I want this guy, I want this guy, I want this guy. And it's not the owners that are doing this. It's the players telling the owners what to do to make them happy. That's not what it's no.
Yeah. And Rodman was a free agent, Cody. He wasn't the Bulls picked him up because they needed a rebounder. They lost a guy like Horace Grant who used to rebound the hell out of the ball too. Really, Horace Grant and Rodman were Horace Grant was a poor man's Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
You know, Horace Grant had a better jump shot than Dennis Rodman, but that's about it. Horace Grant left to go to Orlando for more money, I believe, and then Rodman was available because San Antonio and Detroit were like, dude, this guy's a head case. I don't need him anymore. We're gonna get rid of him. Stressing and dragging shit. Like, I mean, but he wasn't brought in as he wasn't a recruit. Like Jordan didn't say, I want him because he can score and take the spotlight off of me. Because LeBron, that's what he does. He goes, all right, well, we're going to go ahead and take Anthony Davis because I'm tired of harboring all the scoring point, having to shoulder all the responsibility. Jordan just liked the hustle of Dennis Rodman, and he's all like, all right. You know, like.
Back to that Purdue kid, Eddie. He wins the Wooden Award. I mean, that's good. I mean, that shows how awesome this kid is. You're going to see him in the NBA.
I think he's definitely a top 10 pick. I wouldn't mind seeing him in a Pistons uniform, but
your Duke team, Filipowski, he's going pro. He announced he's going pro to that. So is Cody a better? I'm gonna let Matt answer that question. Is Kobe a better team player?
No. Kobe and Michael is 1A and 1B. They are the exact same player. It's just Kobe was more athletic. It's what it comes down to. And people that watch this back, feel free to fight me on this because I will win. Because Kobe modeled himself, and he had said this before he passed away, that he modeled his game after Jordan. His turnaround jump shot is the same as Michael Jordan. Mm-hmm. His approach to the game is the same as Michael Jordan. He was not going to get outworked. He made everyone else around him better. So no, he's not a better team player, because once Shaq left LA, and Kobe had to try to piece together the Lakers, he couldn't. It took Paul Gasol and like three other all-stars to come save him. So no, Kobe is not a better team player. He fell under the LeBron rule at that point. But he is also the second best player. Okay, so real quick before we move on, my top 5 in no particular order really, except for number 1. It's going to be Michael every day, all day. Larry Bird is number 2. Kobe's in the discussion. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Magic Johnson. Those 5 I will take against anybody else. It's just how it is.
That's a good 5. Pretty good 5.
I mean, so no, Kobe was not a better team player.
I'd agree with Michael. I agree with Kobe. Magic, Bird.
I mean, I might throw Shaq in there instead of Kareem because Shaq's more of a dominant force. But Kareem he was a captain.
If I had to pick a center, man, I would probably have to go with David Robinson. I used to love him. He's that guy that was so quiet, but by the end of the night, he's scoring 30 points. And you're like,
well, Tim Duncan was the same way.
Yeah,
Tim Duncan, you'd be like, Like, man, Tim, we didn't really see Tim play tonight. But then you check the box score, he's got 40 points. I'm like,
And
how
that's
the
what that
hell?
and that's what that San Antonio team did. Again, you had one guy surrounded by 3 or 4 other good guys, and that made that championship team what it was. So I think that back to the basketball game, the college. I think that's what happened to Purdue, and that's what happened to Iowa.
Yeah.
They weren't surrounded by a solid contributing team. They were surrounded by a good team. Don't remember, I'm not going to say those teams were bad, but core players is what I'm talking about.
So we moved from college basketball to the Major League Baseball. We're early in the season. Tigers they started off hot and they kind of fell off a little bit last week or so. But take a look at the standings here. We have New York Yankees leading the AL East. We kind of saw that coming after the spring that they were having. The Baltimore Orioles are only a game and a half back, so it's still early. Adlai Rutschman is the center, and I think he's gonna, or not center, but the catcher. I think he's gonna continue to have a great career. He's just only going to get better. Tampa Bay in third, doing so without Wander Franco is a pretty good task for them to be this successful this early. The AL Central, we have Cleveland, half game up on a surprising Kansas City team. I picked them to finish last. I really did, and they are surprising me. And then Detroit, a game and a half back of them, or a game and a half back of Cleveland. I thought Minnesota was going to just run the division.
Right, 7 wins in a row for KC. Holy crap!
Yeah. So I mean, again, it's early, but it's really cool. In the West, the Texas Rangers leading the West. The game or a half game up on the Angels, and 2 games up on Seattle and Oakland. And Houston Astros, where are you at, buddy? Where's the Trash Stros? Oh, they're in last place. 4-10. Yikes. Yikes when you press the panic button on a team that's won multiple World Series in the last 5 years.
Yep.
Then, of course, we have Atlanta winning the NL East.
Shocker.
No surprise there. That team just... I wish it could be. I wish Atlanta and the Dodgers were on like opposite sides of like one's in the AL and one's in the NL. But Milwaukee, they surprised me. I thought I had them finishing way back, but they're 8-3. They're winning the Central. The Cubs are a game and a half back, and Pittsburgh is tied for first, and the Cincinnati Reds are 6-6. That's the team I eventually that I picked to win at the beginning.
Absolutely.
But then St. Louis, they're 6-7. They're 3 games back as well. Then of course Shohei goes to LA and he's probably gonna win a World Series because I mean, unless he bets it away.
Sure.
So the stat leaders, I wrote these stat leaders down. I looked this stuff up earlier. Home runs stat leaders. We have 2 in the major league with 6 home runs this early in the season. Mike Trout and O'Neill from Boston. They both have 6. RBIs, Teoscar Hernandez, Berger, and Steer all have 15 RBIs. And then Will Smith is leading the MLB in batting average with 412.
Wow.
Tearing the cover off the ball, those guys are.
Yeah, they are. Last now for the Dodgers has 3 wins.
Glasnow, Bradford, Weaver, and Miller from Detroit.
Detroit, yeah.
The ERA, 4 tied at a 0. I don't know if those starting pitchers or relievers, but I'm assuming they'd be starters. But Tyler Glasnow trying to stake claim to the Cy Young this early in the season. Has 29 Ks.
Damn. That Dodger team is dirty. They didn't need a freaking.
Oh yeah, Tyler plays for the Dodgers, don't he?
Yeah, they don't need Soho or whatever the fuck. Like,
Shohei Ohtani.
Shohei. They don't need Shohei. My God.
Shohei. Oh. Hey,
They better win 120 games.
Oh yeah, without question. they should dominate.
If they don't, I don't know what to tell you.
They'll probably go out and try to trade for Mike Trout or something next year.
They'll probably do that mid-season. You watch.
So, again, it's early. We'll be talking about baseball pretty much every week, guys. So it'll be kind of a rundown. It'll be kind of interesting to see how players progress and to see where the stat leaders are throughout the year. It's kind of our weekly rundown. Is there any games going tonight that might be worth looking at? We got the Angels and Red Sox playing tonight.
The Twins are at Detroit.
At 6:40 tonight. 6:40 tonight. The Yankees Guardians have been postponed due to weather. We might get postponed as well. But yeah, Brewers Orioles, that might be a good game. Yeah. At 7:05 on Apple TV. So if you got Apple TV, check them out.
There you go.
So now it's time to head into that other league that they play basketball in. It's called the No Fun Basketball League, the NBA. We got the playoff picture pretty much intact right now. It ain't going anywhere, I don't think. But we got Boston. We'll start with the East, I guess. We can start with that play-in games or whatever, the play-in tournament. Right. We got the Sixers and the Heat will play. No, wait. I'm sorry. The Sixers, yeah. The Sixers and Heat played first in their play-in game, and then there's the Bulls Hawks playing their playoff game, the play-in game. And what's interesting, I had to really look at it because I didn't I don't watch the NBA because I think it's dumb. This play-in tournament is stupid. But what it is the Sixers will play the Heat.
Okay.
And then the Bulls will play the Hawks. The loser of the Bulls-Hawks game is done.
It's done.
They're just done. They're just done. The loser of the Sixers Heat game will play the winner of the Bulls-Hawks.
Wait, hold up. The loser of the Hawks game is done.
Yeah, the Bulls-Hawks play in the first in theirs.
So the loser of the Miami Heat Philly game plays the winner of the game that Chicago Atlanta.
So I'm just gonna So say the 76ers win.
Right.
The the Heat will play the winner of the Bulls Hawks.
That will make the 8 teams after they get done with that game.
Yes.
Okay.
So say the 76ers win, they clinch a spot. They clinch the 7th seed.
Okay.
Then the Heat would end up playing the Heat would play the Bulls or the Hawks, and the winner of that game gets the playoff spot. Gets the 8th seed. And then gets swept out of the first round by the Boston Celtics.
There you go.
You know, I mean.
Yeah, because no one's beat. I'm sorry.
There's no. I'm looking up and down both sides of the East and West. If Boston doesn't win the whole damn thing, there's something seriously wrong.
Right. 100%.
62 wins. They're 62 and 20. They're 62 and 18. The next best team in the league. The next best team in the East. This is how ridiculous this is. The next best team in the East has 49 wins.
Yeah. And then we wonder why the East gets their ass beat by the West when it comes to the finals.
Oh, the next best team in the NBA completely is Denver with 56 wins, as opposed to 62. Like Boston has a very good team, and I can see them winning the whole thing. I really do.
Yeah. That team is not. Yeah, that team's sick.
Team's very fun to watch. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Drew Holiday. Yeah, that team's a lot of fun. And in other notes in the NBA, the two worst teams are in the surprise, the Eastern Conference. Detroit right now has a 2-game lead on that last place team. We are in firm control of that number one pick.
But are we? But doesn't
The
it?
lottery.
The lottery. I
lottery.
hate that.
Yeah.
Does that mean we get more envelopes in the lottery?
Yeah, that means we get another couple balls in the lottery.
There you go. Go Detroit.
Stupid. But they're 13 and 67.
Joke.
Washington's 15 and 65. So I bet you Washington gets the first pick, and we get kind of.
So I'm just thinking about
Actually, San Antonio will end up getting the number one overall draft pick to go with Victor Wembanyama.
There you go. What happened to NBA from when we were watching it as young kids and teenagers? What happened to it? Because
the last good season, to be completely honest, well, the last good quality season, like, and I'm not just saying this because we're Pistons fans. I think the last good couple seasons was when the Pistons were relevant, because that was what 06, 07? No.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I watch a game, and I'm not trying to be a dick, but I watch a game, and when there's empty seats in the lower bowl, we got a problem with the situation.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't understand it, because we were season ticket holders, and again, the Detroit Pistons were amazing at that point in time, but there was hardly any empty seats in any game. But now we get empty seats in the lower bowl, and you're like, why? What's the difference? So
it might be pricing too, like, because I don't know if you've looked at potentially going to a game.
No.
They're expensive, man. Like, hold on, let me look at the scores. See, do we play at home? Does Detroit play at all at home in the next couple? No, they have 2 games left and they don't play at home. Look, Dallas Mavericks. How to get tickets for that? As low as, and this is when the Pistons are coming to town. The tickets as low as $54. I'm not paying $54 to sit in the nosebleeds. You know what I mean?
True.
Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I see what you're saying, because you're talking $75 and still in the 310s.
Mm-hmm.
$82. Let me see. Because we had, I think wasn't the Palace, there was 2 levels, right?
There was 3 levels. There was the lower bowl, then the middle, and then where ours were the.
Yeah, but we were getting like $45 a seat, $35 a seat.
Yeah.
Not 80. Damn.
Well, let's take a look. Let's do the Wings.
They're frustrating me.
The Wings play the Canadians on Monday night at home. Tickets for that are as low as $40. See, I wouldn't mind. I would pay the $40.
Right.
Potentially.
Yeah. They have what?
But,
3 games left?
Um.
Yeah, they have 3 against the Maple Leafs, Montreal.
They need to win all 3.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get that. We'll get to that near in a
Sorry.
second.
Sorry about that.
So let's talk about the NHL. The playoff picture. We got the Bruins, Panthers, Leafs, Rangers, Canes, Islanders, Lightning, and Penguins in the East, all locked in. Well, the Penguins aren't necessarily locked in. Let's see. The Penguins. Let's see the wild card. I'm looking at the wild card here. The Penguins are the number 2 wild card. And just give me the Penguins. Come on. They have 3 games. They got the Boston Bruins, the Predators, and the Islanders.
Yeah.
The Bruins could beat them.
Right.
The Predators are also a playoff team in the West, and the Islanders are fighting with. No, the Islanders are the sixth seed right now.
Yeah.
So the Pens could lose 3 in a row, and the Wings could win 3 in a row and slide in.
That'd be
They
nice.
need to win.
Yeah, they need to win.
It's not really necessarily can they. It's a need to.
I mean, they should be able to take Montreal both those games. I mean, if they're playing good hockey. My only concern would be the Toronto Maple Leafs game. I mean, they got to start hot, so yeah.
I mean, even if we take two of the next 3 and the Pens get swept, we can get in.
Yeah. So right.
It's got to be a regulation win. They can't go into overtime.
No.
They have to win in regulation. They have to win in convincing fashion. Because Montreal is in last place. I think they're 30-36. They're like second worst record in the NHL, third worst record in the NHL. Yeah. So, so we're just on the outside looking in right now. So, but yeah, it's playoff hockey, man. This is where it starts. Like, I would hate to be the team, like if Detroit does get in, I would hate to be the team that has to play them in the first round when they're as hot as they are, right? Like winning 3 in a row like that.
Right. Yep.
But early predictions, I think it's going to be Bruins or Leafs in the finals against the Stars. I'm going to say Dallas.
Yeah. I'm going to say I'd agree with you on the Bruins and the Leafs. But you're not going to shit. Yeah, Bruins or Leafs up there. I have to say that. And I'm going to say watch out for the Winnipeg Jets. They're playing hot hockey.
They're not bad. They're not a bad. But
they're playing some hot hockey. So we'll see.
They're not bad. They're not a bad. They're not a bad. Not a bad team at all. So, and the Blues over in the West. St. Louis is 3 games back, or 3 points out of the playoff spot. They're chasing the Vegas Golden Knights. The Golden Knights, they have 3 games left. They have the Wild, they do have 4 games left. The Wild, Avalanche, Blackhawks, and the Ducks. So they could potentially drop 2.
Yeah.
And the St. Louis Blues, they only have 3 games left. So they better hope that they win all 3 and Golden Knights drop at least 2 of those. But they got the Hurricanes, the Kraken, and the Stars. They play the best team in the league.
Right.
The last game of the year. So they might get lucky and get the win because they're resting their players.
Right.
So there's a lot of, like we said, so there's a lot going on in hockey. There's a lot of ifs and like what happens if this does.
Right.
So that's that. We can turn our attention to the Masters golf tournament that's going on right now.
Did you want to touch on what the big news in NFL is before we go to the Masters?
Oh, yes. The NFL lost a family member over yesterday morning. O.J. Simpson passed away. Former USC Trojan, former Heisman Trophy winner, Buffalo Bill, 1,000-yard rusher in Buffalo, an all-time great football player, an actor. He was in the Naked Gun movies with Leslie Nielsen. Well, yeah, he passed away yesterday.
Say what you want to say about O.J. Simpson and the legal trouble he got into and got himself out of. Say what you want to say about that. But O.J. Simpson as a football player, watching him as a kid, he was dirty, dude. He was like a Barry Sanders, like they're solid running backs and stuff that you don't see here lately, and you got to give props to the man as a football player. And he was good. And I can say I didn't know he had cancer, really, to be honest with you.
No. I knew he was going through some tough times. He had to sell his Heisman Trophy and that for the legal fees and all that. But, yeah.
So, mad respect to O.J. Simpson.
So, over at the Masters, we have a live look-in. We have Tiger Woods. We always have to acknowledge him. He is the original. He's the golf tribal chief, I guess. The guy who ran the table. He was the guy who led every tournament, it felt like, for the longest time. And due to injuries and whatnot, he just hasn't been the same in a long time. He's sitting at +1. He's sitting at +1. He is he's even through 11 holes today. Yep. So he's sitting at 1.
Tied for 34. I think I said tied for 34. Tied for 34, yeah.
Yeah. The cut line is the projected cut is +4. So he could play the weekend. I hope he does. Be good for the game of golf. Good for to see Tiger compete all 4 rounds. I think that'd be really cool. Some names that are projected to miss the cut are former Masters winner Charles Schwartzel, Keegan Bradley, Mike Weir, Justin Rose, Jordan Spieth, multiple time Masters champion sitting at 7 over. Bubba Watson, former Masters winner. Dustin Johnson, Freddie Couples, they are all projected to miss the cut. Wow. Those are just names that like you expect to be in the mix every year, and it shows you how crazy these games are. These tournaments are, that nothing's guaranteed. You can't just show up and hit the ball and expect to win tournaments. It's
Right.
So last year's winner, John Rahm, sitting at +1 as well. So him and Tiger might end up being paired together tomorrow.
Paired together, yeah.
But the top 10 right now is Haggard. Hold on. Max Homa is a kid from the U.S. Pretty solid player. Bryson DeChambeau. One of the hottest players on tour right now is Scotty Scheffler. He's positioned himself at 6 under as well. Dean Willett, Davis, Connors, Fox, Nieneman, Sheck, Young, Morikawa, and more. All Matt Fitzpatrick, Roy McIlroy also at 1 under. Victor Hovland at 1 under. So there's a lot of really good players bunched in at that 1 under slot, trying to catch Homa, DeChambeau, and Haggard. So hopefully, anyone but Bryson DeChambeau. I'm just not a fan of Bryson DeChambeau.
Okay. Be a good weekend of golf.
And he just took the lead.
Yeah.
Bryson DeChambeau just took the lead. I'm sorry. It's not DeChambeau that's kind of an a-hole. It's Brooks Koepka. Can't stand that guy. Brooksy. I'm not even seeing him on here. Nope. But anyway, so it was a good time here. We're talking everything sports for the week, and quick plug: we have all the shows that Scott's involved with. Want to run them down right quick for everybody.
Today, just in like 30 minutes, I will have Ashley Hartley from WXW on today. Then I'll be showing the WXW final show tomorrow evening. Tune in for it. Bobby Fish, Alpha will be on there. Chico Adams, Sean Scott, bunch of guys that are up and running that have you seen him on WWE. Sean Scott, look for him. He was one of the bunnies in WrestleMania that came down with Bad Bunny. Just to name some, So, and then next week is XIW week. I'll be having 5 to I think most of their roster on the podcast in the evening times to lead into the April 20th big show where I'll be doing it live. So that's my week.
Yeah, we'll be. I'll be back on your screens for the Tuesday show, and we'll be not sure actually what we're going to be talking about. Maybe I'll hop on and be like our new world champion Cody Rhodes and be like, so what do you want to talk about?
We need to do one of those. We need to do one of those. We need a bunch of people to get on get in our chat. We need to do a Q&A somehow. We need to promote that and do a Q&A. That'd be fun.
I will say this show, once we're in nothing but Major League Baseball, I'm going to start a new segment, new part of the show. It'll be basically the MLB stuff first, and then we're going to go into, I feel, pretty fun thing to do would be a career retrospective. So, of a professional athlete. So if you're watching this and want to throw a professional athlete, not a wrestler, a professional athlete, in hockey, baseball, basketball, football. If you want us to do something along those lines, and let us know what athlete you want me to do, Scott and I to talk about, and if you want to, you could potentially be a guest and help and talk with us about those things. So, reach out to me. If you're watching this, you probably have all my socials and that kind of stuff. So don't be scared. Just send me a message. Be like, hey, I want to come on and I want to talk about Michael Jordan, or I want to come on and talk about Barry Sanders, or I want to come on there and talk about Wayne Gretzky or something along those lines. Just don't be afraid to just throw a suggestion out there of who you want to talk about or who you want to see us talk about. But it would be a career retrospective on whatever player you want to talk about. So it's something I'm looking at doing for the Friday shows once we're basically in just baseball season. So, all right, guys. Again, thank you for coming on and joining us or rewatching this at a later date. I enjoy talking sports. I think and I hope you guys enjoy listening to me and my mansplaining of things, of overanalyzing things that really I shouldn't even have to analyze. Anyway, thank you guys, and we will see you guys next time. Until then.